Coming to you from the Big Island of Hawaii, it's the Songs and Stories Podcast. And now, here's your host, Steve Roby.
Aloha, this is Steve Roby with Big Island Music Magazine and West Hawaii Today. And we are at the Kahilu Theatre backstage with two of the company actors from the London stage who will be performing Macbeth at the Kahilu Theatre on Saturday, October 22nd at 3 p.m. I'm speaking with Roger May, who plays Macbeth, and Claire Redcliffe, who plays Lady Macbeth. Aloha and hail Macbeth.
Aloha. Yeah. Love that.
Welcome to the Big Island. The actors from the London stage, I understand, were back here in 2018 doing Taming of the Shrew?
I think so, or maybe 20, I think it was 2016.
Wow, 2016, okay.
Maybe it was 2018.
I think it's earlier than that, actually.
It's earlier.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've been here for a while.
Okay.
On off you 2009. It's a bidding war.
It's a bidding war. I think I'm gonna go with Roger May.
But it was a while ago.
Okay. Just checking my history on it.
It's probably before I was born. No, I'm joking.
Okay. Welcome to the Big Island. Aloha.
Thank you. It's amazing.
Okay. Hey, so let's start with kind of a bit of a history lesson for our listeners and our readers. Tell me about the actors from the London stage. What is the company all about, and how long have you been doing what you do?
Oh, well, this company was formed, I think, 48, 49 years ago. The myth goes, who knows if it's true, that some actors, including Patrick Stewart, were in a pub called the Dirty Duck, having done a play at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and I think they were moaning about the director and saying we could do a better job. And there was an American academic at the next table, Murph, who heard this and got involved chatting with them and said, well, if you're willing to come to America and do a play and do a couple of classes, I'll pay for it. And that's
how it started. Yeah.
How the company was started.
Yeah. When did you folks get involved?
Oh, I was, my first show, it's my fourth or fifth tour, which is, I feel very lucky. They must have run out of people because they keep having me back. But so my first was Much Ado About Nothing in 2000. That's right, it was 2016. So I must have been wrong on that. So I just auditioned for that, and then I came back a couple of years later to do Midsummer Night's Dream, and that was I think it was a sort of anniversary of actors from the London stage. So we did 2 tours in the same year. So we came out in the spring and we went back out in the fall. And then 12th Night, and now here. So, yeah.
So you're pretty busy all year round now, post-pandemic, right?
Well, I mean, this company does 2 tours a year. They do a spring tour and a fall tour. I did my first one in 2000, a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've done 3, Claire's done 4. They always have a policy that they want 2 people at least to have done a tour before, just because it's quite a beast of its own in a way. It's quite a weird setup. We have no director.
Why is that?
Well, partly because it comes from that conversation saying we can do better without a director.
Which is why it's 5 actors, because they could fit 5 people in a car. Because obviously they wouldn't have flown between the venues, they would have driven in a car.
I see.
Yeah. So that's why it's
Who
5.
keeps control of everything without a director?
Well, that is the ups and the downs, isn't it, really? Because you get ownership of what you're doing, but you've got to. We have this thing in the room where if someone has an idea, you go, yeah, let's try it. Even if inside you're going, yeah, this is absolute rubbish. You've got to go for it. And actually, sometimes you're surprised and you go, yeah, it does work, or something always comes out of it. So
and
the
even
idea,
if it's a bad idea, it often brings about a good idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think that's partly why they need a couple of actors on it, or that have done it before, because you're able to sort of go, okay, you don't do any of that. Oh, when we did it last time, that. It's just helpful to have people.
It's pretty simple then, huh?
Yeah.
But that is part of what you hit on just there, saying that it is about the actors taking ownership of it rather than being told by a director what to do. So therefore, you have 5 creative voices in a room, and you have to work out between you which path you go down. You know, making hundreds of choices on the way.
Wow.
So
But you almost get
does take
along,
time.
right?
Oh,
You almost get along, right?
well, it's a great group.
Okay.
I mean, I feel very, I sort of watch, and I always watch people finding new things every night, and that's the great thing, because we've got Michael Wagg, Anna Deakey, and Annabelle Terrier, the other three, and we're all on stage the whole time, so you get to sit and watch everybody, which is fantastic, and finding new things and playing. It's wonderful, yeah. But as a group, we like to play hard. We work hard, and we're very sort of passionate about what we're bringing to the stage.
So let's talk about Macbeth. So as you're explaining this, I was wondering, is each show kind of different? It's not just, do you kind of improvise a little?
Well, what often makes it different, partly because that's the nature of theatre, that it's a live creation, it's always different. Obviously there's a fairly set structure to it, but doing this tour, because we change venue every week, sometimes, I mean, this week would have played 3 different venues on the island. That creates differences straight away. Sure. You know, we were in a high school doing a show this morning.
Really?
And it was incredibly wide stage. And that spatial awareness and how you play off each other changes it every time.
How did the kids react?
Well, the first reaction we got was, we have this little bit at the moment where, at the beginning, where Annabelle, she's an amazing musician and she sings and plays, and we have a little moment, me and Macbeth, because we think it's important that you show Macbeth and Lady Macbeth being normal, having a nice, relationship before they start planning to kill people. So we have this lovely dance and have a little kiss. Oh, uproar. As soon as we started kissing, that was it. Whoa, no! They were laughing, loved it. So then we have a couple more within the whole thing. And
so it was just selected moments from Macbeth.
Yeah, selected moments.
Not the whole thing.
No.
Okay. But the kids loved it.
Kids loved it.
Oh,
yeah. In fact, we did some workshops afterwards with them, and a couple of them came up to me and said, "So is that your wife?" I said, "No, that's not my wife." And they went, "Oh." I said, "But I do have a wife." And they went, "Oh." They couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
The kissing. Oh, no.
Yeah.
But a lot of the kids had never seen anything before.
Shakespeare. Yeah. Wow, that's great. Thanks for doing that.
It was very special. Yeah. Gosh, of course. That's why we do this job, because we get to do things like that.
Yeah, that's important. So your performance of Macbeth is, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of a stripped down, bare bones version, not many costumes, not many props, not many special stage effects.
Yeah, correct. We each have our own case, our own suitcase, and then we have one suitcase which has to contain all our set costumes and props. Again, we're going back to the practicalities of 48 years ago when they came over, and that's all they could take. I rather love it because it sort of encourages creativity and a different way of looking at things, so that you need to use your imagination to be able to work out how you can have a banquet table, or how you can have, I won't say any more, I don't want to give things away, but all sorts of things in the show. You have to work out, how can we do that's portable and still conveys what you're trying to convey.
But you play multiple characters, is that correct? Yeah.
I play 6 different people.
Yeah, I play 4. I think there are 31 characters in the play, named characters, and then there are some other messengers and stuff. So
There's about 37.
Yeah, I think Anne and Annabelle are playing sort of 7, 8, 9 characters, I think.
So. A lot.
Different voices and...
Yeah, and that's why the different sort of props come into use, because hats and glasses, and anything that's quite visual.
To help the audience.
Yeah, we call them signifiers. Yeah. So if you wear a hat, that signifies what your character is at that point. So if you take your hat off, then you're somebody else. And at the beginning of the show, we do a sort of quick run-through of that, a line-up, so that you're not going to remember all 31 characters. Nobody expects you to.
There won't be a test afterwards.
But it does give you an idea. So you suddenly go, oh, I understand. So just that waistcoat represents a character, or that shawl, or whatever.
Sure. Some of these questions were Waggy supply, but I think we've kind of covered it. How's the show been received in other venues on the tour? I know we talked about performing for the local kids in the school. You were saying you spent about a week in each place and touring. Are there any particular shows in this performance that stand out for you?
For me, when we start off in Indiana, because it's Notre Dame where we start, we go to the correction centre in Westfield Correction Centre and do it for the prisoners.
Wow.
And I've done it before with Much Ado and Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's just it stays with you. I think it's very humbling, and you give something to these people that are locked away.
How did they react?
They were just lapping it up. They were honestly hanging off your every word. It was just so humbling and beautiful. So that for me will never leave me.
Very special. And one of them came up to us afterwards and said, "Thank you for 2 hours of freedom."
Oh God, yeah.
And then tapped his temple and said, "In here." So
Wow.
you know,
It must stay with you, yeah.
yeah, it's a thing you'll never forget.
Wow. Just a side thought, I was like, well, I hope you're documenting some of this for
Well, actually, yeah, there's a blog that Michael Waggy, as we call him, writes for the company, and Roger's documenting it as well, aren't you, every week? So
Just for friends.
it's just because you had got a big following on Facebook when we did it. So we
I'm thinking video kind of clips or something.
Yeah, and Annabelle's very good with the video, so we're sort of trying to. I do this thing where, because I've done these tours before and it can all be, a blur. I sort of stop myself at one point in the day and I say twice, I go, "Claire, look where you are. Claire, look where you are." And I take a couple of minutes, just go, okay. And I do that very regularly throughout the day. So I've got little snapshots in my head.
Yeah. Great, good.
Along with all the other
I mean,
men.
I'd love to see like a tour video of this promotion here. What's next for the company? After you do Macbeth, are you going to plan to do other work with?
Well, they're doing Romeo and Juliet, which is cast, I think, isn't it?
Well, they've had the recalls.
Yeah.
And in fact, my wife has had a recall with them, so we'll see what happens.
So they're coming out in January. And then I don't know what the next one is.
I think it's As You Like It, and then I think it's The Dream, Midsummer Night's Dream.
So yeah, lots of plans for them.
I think they're doing Midsummer Night's Dream for the 50th anniversary, I think.
Oh wow! Again, yeah, because we did it for the 40th, right? Okay.
On some of the stops on your tour, I understand you work with university students and workshops and things like that. What's that experience like?
Oh, it's just incredible. Like again, with the high school this morning, there were some of these kids that have never approached Shakespeare and it feels quite alien to them. So our job is to go in and go, this is how you can use it. If they might be scientists, they might be, having to do a presentation on something, but we can go in and go, okay, stand up, let's do it. And it's brilliant, because we don't just do theatre, we mainly don't do theatre students, do we? It's more other sort of areas that they're studying we go into.
What's the message that you want them to take away that they can apply to other things?
I think that the most important thing, and the reason these tours work so well, is that we go in saying we're not teachers, we're actors. So everything we do is about putting it on its feet. It's about the doing of it and working through it, and that's why these plays were written. They weren't written for academics to write books about. They were written to be performed and enjoyed. And so our job is to try and, at the heart of it, to try and make Shakespeare feel less unattainable, less elitist, and try and unlock something that demystifies it.
All right. Why do you think Macbeth and Shakespeare have survived for so long? What is it about?
Because it's all about what we struggle with today. It's the same emotion. It's all about love. It's all about betrayal. It's all there today. I would say.
Oh yeah, they're themes that never go away.
Yeah.
They're human themes, and also it's a lovely mix of action and beautiful poetry in it as well.
Where can folks find out more about actors from the London stage? Is there a website we can send them to, social media, Is there a good landing point?
If you Googled AFTLS, you will find.
I think on Facebook, so if you look under, it's Notre Dame, Shakespeare at Notre Dame, actors from the London stage come under that wing, and I think it's the same with Instagram as well. So if you go on to Shakespeare at Notre Dame, that's where I think, because we don't have our own website, I don't think, do we?
Well, it's through Notre Dame.
Through Notre Dame, yeah.
Okay.
You know.
But you'll find it if you Google under AFTLS. You will find it.
Google.
You can read previous blogs and
wonderful.
And it'll tell you what shows are coming up.
I did not. You say I've just learnt that. I'm not very good at Googling. I'm always a bit.
Well, Roger and Claire, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful show tomorrow at the Kahilu Theatre. And don't be strangers. Come back to the Big Island.
Oh yes. I mean, you don't even have to ask. I'll be
can only
there.
hope. Thank you.
Aloha.
Thank you for having us. Aloha.
Thanks for listening to the Songs and Stories podcast. Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. We'll see you next week on Songs and Stories. Aloha.